Hello everybody, and here's another episode of Cooking with Cory. Somebody asked me why I wasn't wearing the apron that was hanging up. Because I usually just wipe my hands all over my clothes and I forget that I even have an apron. Anyway, so today I'm wearing my patriotic apron, and I'm going to be making beef and noodles, which is fairly simple, and you can make just about anything in noodles: chicken and noodles, beef and noodles, possum and noodles, whatever, squirrel and noodles. I lived in the South for a while, in Louisiana, so anything that if it grows and has legs, you can eat it. So, anyways, so I'm going to be making beef and noodles with onions. Normally, I would make it with mushrooms too, but since my little daughter is gonna be eating it and does not like mushrooms, instead of me getting irritated watching her pick them all out, I'm going to go ahead and just make them without the mushrooms. So anyway, normally there'd be mushrooms involved in this. Get out of the kitchen. Go on, get out. Alright, so I already started boiling the water for the noodles over here. This is going to be for the corn. Normally I would make mashed potatoes too. I'm going to see if I can get all this done in the same time before I run out of pans, and I've already done that. Alright, so bring up another pan to heat the potatoes in. So first of all, I like to cook with butter. So I'm going to take my dollop of butter here. And it's roughly maybe 2 tablespoons. I don't know. 2 tablespoons. And then I'm going to turn the noodles on. So I'm heating up the butter, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my beef cubes and open them up. Give us beef. Oh, and I just pouring blood all over the place because I cut that open before I showed it to you. Anyway, so take the beef cubes and I rinse them off, and I end up putting them in some flour mixture with flour, and it should be enough for potatoes. Just gonna get all this going. It's gonna be a busy stove here. Gonna be a busy stove. But that's okay. Think like you're cooking for the holidays. Alright, so alright. Clean up the blood from the counter because I don't like to have blood on the counter. It's kind of gross. And while this is melting in here, grab my flour, grab a Tupperware dish. Alright, so you scoop your flour in here. You don't need a whole lot, maybe not even a cup. I mean, that's probably plenty. It's only a pound of meat. Throw a little salt in there. Get some pepper, a little bit of garlic, salt. That's really about it. You don't need a whole bunch, just enough to make it so it's not bland. You don't want just plain flour on there. But anyway, so then I'm going to turn this to a medium. Keep it on the other ones on boil because I want them to cook up real good. And if you hear thunderstorms in the background, it's because it's thunderstorming here in the wonderful part of Indiana that I'm in. So hopefully it won't be too loud and annoying. Alright, so now what I do is the butter is melting, and again, metal utensil, metal non-stick pan. No, this is a regular pan, not non-stick. You guys thought you got me, right? See, it's a regular pan. It's not non-stick. Alright. The butter, however, is making it non-stick. So now, you just take your meat, You freaking swack it around. I saw a cool meme on Facebook about the Pink Floyd fans and like how the vegans, it pisses you off when you see vegans eating meat because how can you eat your meat if you don't have your pudding? You've heard the song? Anyway, I thought that was pretty funny. Anyway, so the butter's melted. The pan is fairly warm. And all you're going to do is brown these just a little bit. They don't have to be, you know, we're not trying to burn them. But what you're doing is you're making the base for the roux for the gravy. So as you drop the meat in, the little flour chunks of meat with their and a little bit of spices on there, you're just going to brown them up. And what's going to happen is the flour is going to brown in the pan and make the gravy. So you just keep dropping those little bad boys in there. And you know, don't panic or freak out if you throw too much flour in there. If you don't get enough flour on one, it's not the end of the world. Okay. So you just toss these suckers around there. Yeah, if you ever worked in a restaurant or a fast food place, you know, you realize that you don't have to be perfectly exact. Oh, hey, somebody's watching. Cool. Anyway, you don't have to be perfectly exact to make this happen. But you don't want to run out of flour either, because then that sucks. Oh, hey, 2 people are watching. Hey, awesome. Hey, everybody. So anyway, I'm almost done getting all the meat in there. Like I said, normally I would have some mushrooms, and I would cut up mushrooms and do all that too. But because I know Camille does not like mushrooms, and she won't necessarily have a fit because she's not that picky, I just don't want to go through the headache of her complaining that there's mushrooms in there. Alright, so this is kind of starting to brown up a little bit. Here's the rest. And again, I just got home from work. It's a little bit after 6. And this is something that does not take long at all. So like, you know, if you're a working parent, single parent, or, you know, Mr. Mom, stay-at-home dad, which, you know, hey, if there's any rich chicks out there, hey, I'm you know, my girlfriend freaking takes care of me, but whatever. Anyway, I know you're watching, Rachel, so I'm just joking. But anyway, so you're gonna fry up all this meat in here. And don't worry if you crowd the pan too much. We're not cooking chicken. If you were cooking chicken, then you know, you definitely don't want to crowd the pan. You want to have lots of room around for the chicken to brown. Okay. Alright, so this is just stew meat. It's a pound of stew meat. In case you were wondering like what kind of meat that it is. Some people ask me about like ingredients and like what's in the stuff. Like one of my friends wants me to email him the list of ingredients and the rub that I put on the pork roast that I made. Oh, hey, 3 people. Awesome. Hello. So anyway, if you want something like that, and you know, one of my friends, you just can send me an email or send me a text, and I'll send it to you. Or if you're like somebody I don't know, just leave a post on the YouTube, and I'll send you ingredients lists and stuff. Because sometimes you may not catch the whole thing, or I may skip over something because I'm still new to this whole making things online. Anyway, so as you can see, it's not that big a deal. Like it can be a little crowded. The butter's starting to brown up some of the meat. You can start to see the blood's coming out of it a little bit. Fling it all around in there. You get it going, nice and hot. Alright. Again, like I said, I like to buy local, so the corn that I got, I didn't necessarily buy it because the farmer gave it to me, but it's local grown Indiana corn. So I'm gonna make some of that. Since there's only 2 of us eating, when you make potatoes, 1 potato is usually a portion, so I make 3 because sometimes I like extra, and it's not that bad if you eat a little bit extra potato. Not gonna kill you. Now, if you're on like one of them starchy people and like you can't eat starch and gluten and all that stuff, this is probably not the recipe for you because, Well, you just saw, got flour in the meat. I'm making noodles, which is more gluten, and I'm gonna have mashed potatoes, which is even more, and then corn on the cob, which is, it's just like a starch fiesta. It's very bad for anybody who's trying to watch carbs or done any of them weird, crazy Atkins diets or any of the other crap that's out there. But now to each their own. If that's what makes you happy, then by all means, be happy. All right. So as the meat starts to brown, I need to pull some of them out. Like I said, you're just browning them. You're not trying to kill them. We're not trying to burn them to death. We just want to make it so, you know, the marbling's kind of gone and they're browned up a little bit on all four sides. And the ones that you put in earlier will probably be done by now. Not done, like you can't eat this yet. It's still, well, I mean, I would eat it because I like rare meat. But, I wouldn't give it to like a small child that could choke or old people. That's kind of the thing with me, huh? I make stuff that kills old people and children. Maybe you should be careful what you make. But anyway, frying's a little too hot, so burn up here. Alright. So like I said, they don't have to be perfect, they just have to be kind of done and not bleeding anymore is what you're looking for. Stop bleeding. Oh, 3 people. I'm gonna guess it's probably like Rachel and David, and I'm not sure who else would be out there that's watching that because I'm not sure how many people actually watch me here. So now, to make the gravy part, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take beef base. This is some, it's made in Amish places, I don't know, from Indiana, like the Amish people. Again, try to support your local community things that are going on. So I buy local stuff. So for the amount of meat that I have, I'm going to use two cups, maybe a cup and a half. I'm not sure yet how much I'm going to need of the juice. But if you make too much, all you got to do is add a little flour to thicken it up, and it's not that big a deal. All right, so this stuff has directions on it. Again, like my theme, freaking reading is fundamental. If you can read directions, you can cook. It tells you how to make the beef base for soup in this. It's right on the jar, right there. It tells you. It's like a tablespoon for every cup of water. Anyway, so I take this. It's kind of sticky. It tastes real good. If you have teenagers, what they'll do is they'll stick their fingers in here like frosting and they'll eat it straight out of the jar. Kind of gross, really, in my opinion, but you know, sampling it, not bad. All right, be right back in the microwave this. Okay, so while that's heating up, get my tater skinner out. Skin me up some taters. And you don't have to get all the skin off your potatoes. You just need to get a little bit of it off. So, like if you still have some hunks on there, well, that might be too much, but it's okay. It's not gonna kill anybody to eat a little bit of skin in their mashed potatoes. And plus, you're gonna mash them anyway, so they won't see them in the first place. Actually, the only time I really skin my potatoes all the way dry is if I'm making like potato salad, because people don't like, unless you're making German potato salad, they don't really like to have skin in their potatoes. But when you make it in mashed potatoes, I haven't found really anybody that complains about it. And if they did, they don't have to eat it anyway. Okay, taters are done. I've already got the water boiling. Got some salt in there. Take this. Okay. You don't need to mash the potatoes before you cook them, just big chunks. So I mean that's fine. You know, it doesn't have to be already totally smushed up. So let's see, we're gonna do corn in that one. We're gonna do mashed potatoes in this one. All right, we're just gonna let them babies boil for a little while. Since we're out here, it's good, but you know they say like a cooked wash pot never boils. As soon as you turn your back on that, it's gonna overboil, and you're gonna have freaking stuff everywhere, and it's gonna irritate you and mess up your stove. So I try to keep an eye on it while I'm boiling. All right. So now I need more butter. Alright, another 2 tablespoons, so that would be like 4 tablespoons total of butter so far that you used. I'm just going to plop that right in the pan with the drippings and turn this back up. I don't ever turn the pan all the way off if I'm still going to use it because I want it to stay warm and I don't want it to keep getting hot and cold. You can do what you want to do, but that's just my opinion. I don't like to turn it off, leave it going. Leave this butter out so it can get nice and warm for when we're gonna baste our corn with it, because everybody likes it on corn on the cob. And we're gonna need to flop some of this in our mashed potatoes when the mashed potatoes are done. So, and peel that off of there. Bam. Alright, let me take this over here. I'm not gonna do all these right over here, but maybe I can. So with corn, this is just plain old white sweet corn. If you buy it at the store, if you see some old ladies have already picked it open and looked inside to see if it was good or not, you probably don't want it, because if the old ladies didn't take it and threw it back and it's already been open, you already know it's bad, so don't pick those ones up. But since I picked these fresh out of the cornfield, I kind of was guessing. If you're picking corn, which I don't suggest stealing, that's bad, but the farmer let me pick these. When the tassels are all dry and old and has these little bumpy things on the end, that means the corn is done and it's ready. So you can go pick it. Another thing a lot of people don't know is, well, this one's challenging me a little bit here, is you don't have to peel your corn all the way. Well, I just did with this one. You can leave like one layer on it before you boil it, and it keeps some of the moisture in the corn when you're cooking it, but you don't have to do that. It's just a way. So I'm gonna flop these bad babies of corn in there. Okay, butter's starting to melt. So while my corn is gonna be cooking, I'm going to man, I'm just making a mess today. I have not kept anything on the counter yet. Alright. Right now I'm slicing up the onions. So normally, like I said, I would do this with onions and mushrooms. And I would leave the mushrooms just sliced. I wouldn't quarter them or anything. You can use canned mushrooms if that's your preference. I personally just like to use fresh everything if I can. Just because I know where it came from and you know, it looks good. Alright, so while these onions are cooking up here, it only takes a few minutes for them to get soft. You know, about 3 to 5 minutes, and those will be nice and soft, and they'll be just really good there. Alright, so I'm going to peel this. Alright. Plopping the corns in there. And again, you're going to drain this, so you don't care. I mean, you could just throw them in like this if you want, and and skin them later, which is okay because they're a lot easier to peel when they're hot, except for they're hot, so they're gonna burn your hand. And it's going on 20 minutes, so that's probably enough for this video. I'm going to probably log out, log back in, so that you can see the as I finish it up, because the rest of this is just prep work until then. So just hang out, chill for a minute. What do we got? 20. It's 20:30 right now. It's about long enough for this part of the video, and I will be back with you live.